Hello, everybody. Welcome to Seeing Ink Spots Backstage Pass. You all know me. I'm your Stampin' friend, Elizabeth. Just waiting for a few people to pop on so that we can officially begin today's class. So I'm just gonna wait a second or two and just smile. I guess I will tell you what's happening lately. Yesterday I picked up the best pictures of Finn and Archer. As soon as I get the social media file for that, I will share that online because they are fantastic pictures. So that was my big outing yesterday to downtown Boise. Okay, there are 7 of you now on. That was fast. Okay, be sure to say hello so that I know who's on. If you see me looking away from the camera, it's because I'm looking at the comments. So Julie's on, Alicia's on, Michelle, sorry, not Michelle, Marcia. Hello, everybody. So let's officially begin with good Thursday morning and welcome to Use It Up. Today is all about the Taco Fiesta Stamp Set. Such a fabulous, fun, spunky, spicy kit. So today we're going to be doing a lot of stamping, a lot of blending, and yes, a lot of detail cutting, or as we discussed in Studio Ink Spots, cussy-futting. So, happy to have you here. Please pipe in the comments so that we can make this fun for everybody. Let's start with a little bit of business. Okay, so before I turn the camera and show you what's coming up, I just want to kind of share with you, there's been a little bit of confusion. Back in January of 22, so it's been a little over a year now, I switched things up. So it used to be if you had to purchase the month before, the next month class was free. But that almost put 2 months in between figuring out who was getting what kit. So what I did last year was make it classes at the end of the month. During the month, if you have a purchase, you get that class for free. Now, if you have a purchase, you get that class plus Use It Up plus shipping for free. So that's when that changed, was in January of 22. If you have any questions, give me a holler and I'll help you out with that. Okay, so let's flip the camera and let's see what classes are coming up in the next few weeks, and then we will stamp. I already have ink on my fingers from just cleaning the stamps while I was waiting to go live. So yeah, we're gonna be busy, busy, busy. Okay, so here comes the hand. It's always the best part, right? Hopefully you guys shut your eyes during those moments. Okay, let me just kind of do a little wiggling and tightening up of the stand here. Okay, so our first class coming up next week, this is our pickup class for the month. Next week, we are going to make a mini album, and you will need a 12 by 12 piece of paper, or I can give you the measurements for 8.5 by 11, but I'll be doing mine on 12 by 12. We're actually going to cut it down to 9 by 12. So we're going to make a fun little fold-up mini album featuring The Greatest Journey. This is a fun stamp set. Stamp set dies and DSP all coordinate beautifully. For me, the DSP is the star of the show, but so look for more of that coming up this week and next, and we'll have some fun with that. Then our technique time, our big granddaddy class of the month. So our biggest class of the month, technique time. These cards are going to be beautiful, featuring the Delicate Desert Bundle and the Desert Details Suite. So your packets will be including those sweet products, those sweet products. And these are very reminiscent of what we will be doing. Some of you may have seen some of these in Studio Ink Spots. But we will, similar, maybe I'm going to switch up the color palette just a little bit different, but still going to be similar because it's all within the Sweet collection. But I posted this one yesterday and had a lot of comments on this one, compliments on this card right here. And it's so simple, and it's just that Desert Sweet. So, yeah, join me for that. Now, how can you get this class for free? I'll explain it to you. You can get 2 classes for free. You can get Technique Time and Use It Up. You can get both of these for free when you have a $75 purchase on the host code of the month. Now, if you have an order that you've buddied up with a friend and it's more than $150, don't use the host code. Go ahead and you redeem those host rewards. Okay, so now if you had a $50 order, I forgot to include it in this month's email, but if you have a $50 order, that will get you Technique Time for free, but you'll have to pay for the shipping. $75 gets the 2 classes, so you'll get Technique Time and use it up for April, which is going to be Eden's Garden. So that's going to be a lovely class. So I look forward to that one for sure. And also coming up, we have Paper Pumpkin. Sorry, to grab 2 pieces of paper at the same time. Paper Pumpkin Up Style will be in April. That will be April 6th. That's going to be a beautiful one. That kit. So, you know, what's the date today? It's the 9th. So today and tomorrow is your last days to register for this, or to subscribe for it rather, not register. But before March 10th, and you're going to get a free extra stamp set. And you can actually see it. If I were to pull this away, you could see that stamp set. It's really pretty. It's got a leaf and an Easter lily and a pot and a background stamp and a couple greetings, one of them that says happy. So this is going to be a really beautiful kit. I'm looking forward to getting that one. I mentioned we had Eden's Garden for Use It Up. I'm not entirely sure what paper we're going to be using. I think I'm going to use up the Cottage Rose or Abigail Rose, because I've got a bunch of that still on hand and want to use that up before the catalogs end. But this was a stamp set that you could have got for free. Stamp set and dies. Whoops, holding on to a bunch of things here. Stamp set and dies. So I'll be using that. Oh, here are the dies. Look how pretty. Yeah, I think we're going to be making some pretty things with this. So Eden's Garden is coming up. Okay. And pick up in April, just giving you a heads up, Lighting the Way. So Terry DeFont, she actually she mentioned that she really liked this set, and I hadn't really looked at it. And then I took a look at it and went, it's so cool. So this is for Terry, but this is also for me because it's going to be a beautiful one. Okay, and it does come with dies as well. So you can kind of see those cool dies to make lightning bugs and leaves and the lantern. And then our class for April will be the Sweet Citrus Bundle. And I've just opened that yesterday and I'm just starting to work with it. It's really cool, you guys. I'm excited for that one too. I'm excited for all stamps, and I'm sure you guys are kind of the same way, right? We love to stamp, that's why we're here. Okay, on with today's show. This is all about the Taco Fiesta Stamp Set. I have been waiting a long time to focus on this set and plan to make more things. I have seen some adorable simple things, and I've also seen some more fancy things. Today we're going to kind of be in the usual, you know, style of myself, which is a little bit more fancy than just simple, but, you know, we're going to have some fun. So let's get inky and get it done. Okay, if you have a Use It Up kit, the pieces are in there that you will need. I always say bring a little extra white paper because you never know when you just need a little bit more. There is enough in there, but sometimes sometimes I make mistakes. Sometimes I went too wide when I'm stamping separate pieces to cut out, you know. Okay, so not everything is in the exact order, but it's close. It's close. So let's see here. We don't need the tag. We don't need the bag. This piece we're going to use on our last project. And your piece, so in my sample today, I was using up the glimmer paper. And so some of you have Parakeet Party and some of you have Sweet Sorbet. So either color will work. We're using it up. I've also cut you one of the frames, kind of that Aztec, Southwestern Desert Details. This is from the Desert Details bundle. I've cut you a white piece of this in your kit. This is going to be for our first card. We're also going to need a piece of white for our first card. This piece of yellow is going to be for the next card, so we'll just slip that there. And we're going to need the green. So let's put the rest of this, well, let's not put the rest of the stack away. Let's grab these pieces. These 2 pieces of Designer Series paper. So here's the side we're going to be using. It's pretty easy to see the pattern in these. And then the back sides are these 2, okay? So those are the first two pieces of DSP. So the DSP we are using is from a host pack called Flowers and More. And so if you have a host order of $150, you can get this pack for $18, and it's a 48 sheet pack of paper. So we saw the first part of Flowers and More in the Around the Bend class, right? And so now we're seeing it, the second half of it here in Taco Fiesta. We're using it up. So our pieces for this card are going to be right here. This is what we're going to use. So I'm going to set these aside for right now. We'll get to those. The first thing I want to do is let's take this piece of white that we have, and we're going to pull out our stylish shapes, and we're going to die cut a little bit here, okay? So just die cut things right into the corners, you know, try and save as much paper as you can, but run that through your Big Shot or your Stampin' Cut and Boss machine with those right to the edge. This circle here is about 2 1/8 across. So you could use a 2-inch circle punch if you have that. And you could just cut some rectangles and then notch the ends as banners, and use the banner punch if you wanted. So something similar. So these are the pieces we're gonna die cut. I, for time's sake, have mine done, okay? So we're going to use, for this first card, we're gonna use this one, okay? So that's gonna be part of our card for this. And this one, we'll use these two on our next two cards. So that's our first little bit of business, but we'll keep this out because we're going to use the scrap to do a little bit of stamping. Okay, so were you with me on which pieces to die cut from Stylish Shapes? Okay, so moving right along, this card, it just made sense to me with all of this green that we would make a holy guacamole card. Okay, so with the green, we're making holy guacamole. How about you guys? I love avocados. I love guacamole. I love interesting guacamole. That's like one of my favorites here. Okay, so let's do a little bit of designer series paper trimming. And the first piece we're going to trim is this piece here. It's already, if you've got a use it up kit, it's 4 inches wide by 6. Okay, so it's 4 by 6, but we're going to trim it down to be 4. It's already 4, so I'm going to turn it, and it's going to be 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, that's easy peasy, right? Very typical. Save this. You never know when we might use it, and then again, it may be trash. All right, this piece here, we're gonna do a little bit more trimming. So this one is going to be 3 5/8 by 4 and, well, 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. But what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna cut the 4 7/8 first. It's gonna be a better use of paper. Usually I say, let's cut the smaller measurement first, but, so we're gonna do 4 7/8. Okay, that'll give me a nice piece right here. 4 7/8, keep that, you never know when we're gonna use it, by 3 5/8. Okay, and now I'm second guessing myself, so I'm gonna do a real fast double check. Yes, 3 5/8. So 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. There you go. Save this, you never know when we're gonna use it. So what we're going to do now, pretty simple here. We're gonna layer these two pieces together. So there was a pretty bold paper in the holiday mini catalog, and we did some crazy layers of paper. And sometimes you think, oh, how can I mix these? These are so crazy. But look, by the time you have those two layers, and then you put some white on top, so now we've kind of tamed the whole thing down, but have some fun, you know, putting those together. Okay, I thought I had everything today. I have no adhesive. That was really dumb. So while you're trimming paper, while you're doing your stylish shapes die cutting, I'll be right back. I gotta get glue. I just, oh my goodness. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Every time, right? We should take bets. What's it going to be this time? What's she going to forget? You know, I thought, oh, I don't need my Stampin' Cut embossing machine. And I'm like, oh, yes, I do. We're embossing something. Hello. So I got all that, and then I forgot glue. Okay, glue. But that gave you time to catch up, right? So, all right, you guys are quiet so far. Let me know, are any of you stamping along? Are you just watching? What's your plans for today? What fun is happening? Okay, so there we have it. These pieces are ready, but we're not going to glue those onto our card base just yet because we're going to be doing a few other things. All right, so that's prepped. Now let's prep this piece here. So this piece, you can see I already have one little section of this zigzag removed. What you're going to do is reach your paper snips in there, and I've already gone through and done half of this, is reach your paper snips inside there. Hello, come on. You can see I've already kind of clipped out, but just reach your paper snips in there and take these little pieces of zigzag, rickrack, whatever you might want to call them. We're just going to remove all of these because I want a little bit more of that green to peek through, and I really want to emphasize that green. I mean, we can see this cool little detail here, but we'll see it even more with a little bit of that green peeking through. So we're just emphasizing that. So I'm just doing a slight alteration to the die cut. Okay. Now, interesting, these dies are the Delicate Desert or Desert Details. These Desert Details dies, oh my goodness, the alliterations sometimes can really fog up the brain. These are on back order. However, yesterday, Jolinda said that she was able to place an order for them, and I saw them. They're on her order. I went to try it, and the number was not working for me. It said, this is currently unavailable. So, I don't know, did any of you have that experience? Oops, I have one more here. One more hanging on. Okay, there you have it. So now when we have this, look how fun that is to see that little, the green peeking through to really kind of give us an emphasis of this little detail here. Okay, so that's how we're gonna start. Now we are going to do some blending. I'm gonna bring in some scratch paper. And I know this is scratch paper, but to keep this surface kind of clean and tidy, I'm gonna kind of do some things on my scratch paper so that I can pull that away and we have, like I say, a tidy surface. Okay, so this isn't what I want. I want this. First thing we're gonna do here with this, we are going to be doing some stamping on this piece and some a little bit of blending of color. And we're gonna stamp, and it's gonna be very strange what we're going to do because it's gonna be like stamps just kind of floating in midair. But we're gonna do it this way so that we can stamp and just do more, rather than stamping and fussy cutting every little image out, it's allowing us to, you know, kind of hold back on some of the fussy cutting that we're gonna do. So, ooh, ah, this is what we're gonna make. This is gonna be the start of our Holy Guacamole card. Okay, so slide this over. Just so here's my point of reference. Here's what we're making. So grab yourself a light green blending brush and Granny Apple. So this is Granny Apple. And I'm going to load my brush. And this brush is one of the large blending brushes. Excuse me, I have both sizes. I have a tendency to really, if I'm doing like a full, like quarter page background and a lot of blending, I'll use the bigger ones, but I really kind of like the littler ones. So I'm gonna do this blending, and I'm not going straight across the middle. I'm kind of above middle. So we're gonna be just a little bit higher than middle. I've already knocked some of that ink off, and I'm just gonna gently start kind of a back and forth, and then I'll circle. And I'm just creating a nice light green haze in here. And this is going to be where our greeting is going to sit. So it'll just give a little bit of emphasis to that. So just a little bit of Granny Apple. That is it, folks, for that. So I'll take Granny Apple away. We will bring this one back into play here so you can see it. Now we're going to stamp these elements in shaded spruce. Whoops, I'm just dropping and doing all kinds of things. So shaded spruce is our color that we're going to be using. And we're going to use the avocado, okay? Everybody needs an avocado stamp, right? How cute is that? So you need your avocado stamp. Let's start with that. So this is shaded spruce. Now, this class, I am using blends. You could choose to watercolor your entire class if you don't have a lot of blends. So instead of shaded spruce, switch out shaded spruce and use your black StazOn or black archival, something waterproof, and then you can watercolor the images rather than blend the images, okay? So here goes avocado. However, I want to do one thing first. I want to get this placement just right. And what I'm going to do is put my greeting, this is going to be our greeting, it's going to go in here, the holy guacamole greeting. Okay, so that's where it's going to go. Then I'm going to use my pencil because you just never know if you're in the right spot. And I'm just going to do two really lightweight or light little teeny marks there. So I don't know if, can you see those where I did that? There you go. So those two marks, that way I know about where I'm going. And they are still in, I haven't removed them here. You can see there's one, there's the other. That way they're kind of just a registration mark so I know exactly where I'm headed, okay? So this avocado is going right there. Ta-da! It's so cute. And let's do some chips. Okay, here's the chips. I like this little image. Chips are one of my most favorite thing. And yes, I am going to overlap this. Okay, there's a little overlap there. That's okay. You'll see how we're gonna fix that in a little bit. And now this tiny little, the smaller pepper. So I guess if it's smaller, these are Serrano and Ghost. And so this one's gonna go just above that registration mark. And then we'll twist it and stamp it again and kind of fill this spot in right there. There's that. Now let's do this bottom half. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna put my piece there and just a little bit, and it looks like I'm a little higher, but that's okay. We'll a little bit there and a little bit there. I'm a little higher than my template here. Now the guacamole, it's not the guacamole, but the avocado we're gonna do again, and I'm gonna start with this one over here. I'm gonna kind of work this other side, kind of doing that to me is my anchor image, these two right here, and then I stamp off of those. Okay, so here's this one. And then we'll do another one right here. And let's use that little pepper again. You think I'd keep track of it? I've already lost it. Where could it go? Here it is, found it. So the little pepper is going to kind of be diving right in between these, like so. And the chips, we'll do the chips a couple more times here. And I'm just following my template. So and I might have to be at a slightly different angle. There's one set of chips, and I'm gonna rotate this, and yes, this one's going to overlap. That's totally okay. There. And that is as much stamping as we're going to do on this page. Now, bring your scratch. So this piece here, you die cut your two banners and your circle. So with the leftovers, we're going to stamp the chips. Let's stamp the chips twice. So we'll just stamp them right down here in the corner. This is shaded spruce. Sorry, kind of got out of the camera there. Stamp it again. Shaded spruce chips. And we're going to stamp the guacamole in the lava bowl. Let's see, where is that image? Here it is. Here's the guacamole in the lava bowl. You know what? This also could be like rice in more of an Asian, you know, cup type style bowl. Put a couple chopsticks in there. Okay, so there's my guacamole. And I'm going to need I want one of the sombreros. So I have the sombrero and the lime on the same block, but one sombrero in shaded spruce. And I'm going to do 2 avocados in shaded spruce. Okay, so there's that. And we'll kind of just reach this around that. All right, so now these are all gonna need to be colored in. I'm gonna take my mock-up away. These are all gonna need to be colored, and some of these are going to be colored. Now, we don't need to color this avocado or this avocado because they are going to be, we're gonna cut them out and bring them up. But I stamped them here so that I knew where my other images were going to go, okay? We are gonna color the chips and the peppers. Let me tell you, I've tried fussy cutting these little peppers out, and they're fine, but they're kind of a humdinger to fussy cut. So we'll be coloring this avocado, the chips and peppers, okay? These 2 we don't have to. So here's what we're gonna use. I'm gonna shut no, I'm not gonna shut this just yet. Let me just go back real fast. Let's, while it's open, stamp the greeting. We're gonna stamp the greeting in shaded spruce, and we're gonna stamp the holy guacamole, it's your birthday. Okay, and I'm gonna slip this inside here just so I have a nice contrast, so I can really see what I'm doing. And just center that and give it even pressure. You don't need to press like crazy. Nice crisps. And I'm gonna let that just dry on the side. I'm really gonna let that ink penetrate the paper. So now we are done with shaded spruce, and now it's going to be all about blending right now. So we are gonna blend these images, and they're not gonna take us too long because they're pretty small. And I'm going to start with So Saffron. So that's daffodil, but there's light saffron. And let's see if I can find dark saffron. There's dark saffron. So my chips are in the saffron colors. And might as well grab a few more things. I'm going to use some dark and light shaded spruce for the outsides of the avocados. And I'm going to use Granny Apple for the flesh of the avocados. And crumb cake for the, let's see, yep, that's crumb cake for the pits, okay? So let's start with that and have some fun. Let me just tilt my camera, there we go. I knocked it. Okay, I'm gonna start coloring these chips with the So Saffron, and I'm trying so I'm gonna I kind of didn't follow my own instructions here, but I'm trying to not color over the shaded spruce, okay? You can, it won't hurt it, but it does blur it out just a little bit. So just some real fast, light So Saffron on these. Okay, and then I'll take the dark, and I'm going to take the bullet end, and I'm just going to kind of dot here and there, especially around where the image itself has some more. And you know, this may or may not show up on camera. I do see a difference. Okay, that's it. While I have this tip out, I'm going to color part of the sombrero. Okay, there's that. And now with the light, I'll just kind of even add just a little bit more right on top of the dark, but it will give it a little bit of difference. Okay, so let's do crumb cake while we're here, and let's hit the centers of these avocados. I'm gonna start with light, and I'm using the blunt bullet end, or the, I don't know what they call this end. Somebody help me out. Okay, and I know I need to color this avocado here. You guys are awfully quiet today. Okay, there's that. Now I'm going to go in with the dark and just give a little bit to one side, just giving a little bit of character to the pit. And I'll go back with the light and then blend that. Okay, there's that. Now, here's the hard part. And it's not hard, it just takes patience. I'm gonna use, this is light shaded spruce. And I'm just coming around the skin of the avocado. And if you're gonna like fall outside the edges, it doesn't really matter because you're gonna be fussy cutting it, right? Detail cut. But, you know, if you're gonna go out of the lines, go out of the lines to the inside. Okay. Just coming around this edge. Okay, and we need to do this one. Okay. That's enough of the light. Now I'm not going to go all the way around with the dark, but I'm just going to add little swooshes of it here and there. Okay, just to give it a little character. Bring a little bit of depth. Okay. That will be done with that. Now for the best part of the avocado, the inside. Again, I'm using that bullet tip. Just come in there and where your shaded spruce has kind of come over the line a little bit, just blend it with your granny apple. Now here's a little bit of dark. I'm just going to do it in a few spots, kind of where that shaded spruce was eking into view there. Oh yeah, now I really want to go hit the Pantera Market and grab some. They have the best tacos there, very unusual tacos. So this is the dark granny apple, and I'm just kind of dotting in a few places here in the lava bowl of guacamole. Okay, and I'm just going to blend that out with my light granny apple. Okay, should have done this one. Since I've got the pen open, we will. Okay, I'm just checking. Nope, no comments. Quiet folks today. Okay, so what's the best taco place in your area? Or where do you like to go? What kind of tacos do you like? Do you like fish tacos? Do you like fancy ones? Do you like more authentic ones? You know, like from a taqueria? One of my favorite places to go is in Southern California. Tondra can go there for me. In Costa Mesa, it's a place called Taco Mesa. Oh, their food there is so good. They have these grilled, not grilled, but marinated vegetables at their salsa bar that are to die for. Okay, let's do this little lava bowl. This little lava bowl, I'm going to use black and gray granite, okay? So really these lava bowls are rather dark, but because I want to put a little face on it, I don't want it to get too dark. So I'm going to do just a little bit. This is light black Stampin' Blend, okay? So it's light, what's the official term? Light basic black. So I've done just a little bit of swoosh on the little feet there, and I might do just a little bit on the bowl and a little bit up here, maybe like a dot dot, maybe hit this corner. I don't want a lot of that because there's, you know, blending it with the granite is going to be a little tricky. This is dark gray granite, and I'm just really trying to hit that and blend that black into the lava bowl itself. Okay, so just really try to blend that. Okay, I'm not coloring the whole thing. Now I'm going to fill this rest in and really blend it with the light gray granite. Okay, it's always amazing to me that after I've done some blending and I look at it and I go, and then I work on something else and I come back and I'm like, okay, now that really turned out cute. All right, let's do this avocado while we are here before I forget it. Get that out of the way. So I'm just going to color right over that chip. Don't worry about it. what we're going to do with some of these areas that overlap, those are going to be chips that we have colored here. Okay, so here's this avocado. Let's give it a little character with a little bit of the dark granny apple. And then I like to go in and blend it again. So I like to go light, dark, light. What do you guys do when you blend? There are no rules. It's whatever up to you, whatever you prefer. Okay, this is Poppy Parade, and it doesn't matter if it's light or dark. I am not going to do any blending. I'm just basically going to give the sombrero a little bit of color. Okay, there's that. So this is dark Poppy Parade. I think I have the light cap on the wrong one. Yes, I do. See, I have two different colors. So this is light Poppy Parade right here. So now I do have both in hand. I have the light and the dark. And I'm going to work on these little peppers here. And I'm going to start with the light. That's this one. And I'm just going to give these a real fast, quick coat of the light. And then just go in and give just a little bit of swoosh of the dark and then blend that so we get a little variation in those. A little variation in color. So here goes light. You guys, we are going to color, is this light or dark? This is dark, sorry. So we'll just blend that with the light. And here's light. We're going to be coloring a lot of peppers today. We'll do greens and reds. So I do love peppers, you guys. I cook with a lot of peppers. I love poblanos. I love, you know, I mean, I put jalapeno in almost everything, but I also do really like some of your other flavors, serranos, and you name it. Guajillo, there we go. All right, so we don't need to color that one. Let's color these chips real fast. Some we will need colored. Some we're just going to cover up. Just depends on how much we want to do fussy cutting wise. I know I'm going to need this one colored because I'm going to cover this avocado is coming in over top. So we'll color those. Then let's color all of these because we don't need to fussy cut any of these to cover up. This I definitely don't need to cut. I mean, I definitely will have one coming in over top. So I'm not going to worry about that one. Color these. And we'll do the same thing on the other chips. I'm just going to go in and add a few dots just for a little variation in color. Does it show? Does it not? Yeah, it does kind of. Kind of. Okay. Now, while I have this piece out, this is almost ready to go. The only thing missing now is I'm going to go to my daffodil. So I have some daffodil and so saffron. So my daffodil, these are going to be for when I'm kind of dressing up the piñatas today. And I'm going to use the daffodil for a little bit of splattering, okay? So I'm splattering this entire piece with light daffodil. I'm trying to. There it goes. Just kind of breaking up that white a little bit. And then I'll do a little splatter with the dark daffodil. Okay, this one's a juicier blend. Maybe just a little bit right there. Okay, so this panel is ready. I'm gonna kind of take my blends away just to clean up. We'll definitely be pulling all those colors out again. But let's just look at what we have. So we have these, and we have also stamped our greeting, right? I want to do one little detail to the greeting here, and that's why I left my light granny apple out. I am going to emphasize the O's. I'm just going to color them in just a little bit. I don't know why, it just struck me as fun. So I was just doing that. Okay, so now what we'll need to do is fussy cut these images, okay? So if you are stamping along with me, I already have mine done, okay? Or we'd be here forever watching me fussy cut everything out, right? But what you can do is get your pieces, you've gone this far, right? just kind of hold off on fussy cutting that. You'll take a screenshot of where I'm going to put everything. Plus I'm going to post photos. So you'll be able to fussy cut yours and then quickly add them to your cards. Okay, so let's do first things first. I am going to erase my little registration marks here, okay? They might not show, but then again, they might. So that one definitely might. We'll get rid of that one. And I'm doing this long after all of these inks have had time to dry so that I know I'm not going to smear anything. Okay, Holy Guacamole is going on with your dimensionals, obviously, because, you know, we love them. Add those, that greeting with dimensionals. And most everything today is going to be added with a dimensional. Here and there we might glue it, but. So no one has shared with me their favorite taco place. I get in moods. Sometimes I like certain types of tacos, if you know what I mean. Do you guys get that way? Okay, so there's my Holy Guacamole. I'm gonna come down just a little bit and over just a little bit. Okay, there's that, super cute. And so I have fussy cut all these little images. And before we start adding these, I think I have one avocado too many. That's okay. I had extras all cut out. I want to add some faces to these because that's what's fun about this little kit. So I am going to add the mustache, okay? And I'm gonna add this is the one that's kind of like the mouth is in the shape of an O. And that's what I'm gonna stamp on my lava bowl there. Guacamole, holy guacamole. But I am not gonna use shaded spruce because I found when I used shaded spruce on all my elements that I'd been coloring, they kind of bled a little bit. So I'm gonna use waterproof black. So you use what you like. I'm gonna use black for that reason. Now don't over ink and don't over stamp. I am just gently touching back and forth on my pad. And let me just kind of show you. I'm just gonna give a little bit of an impression. Okay, practice. See how I didn't totally get that eye? Even pressure, but not too much. Let me show you what happens when you have too much. If you push too hard, they get kind of blotchy and gross, okay? So just even pressure and hope for the best. Even pressure. Yes. Isn't that cute? Okay, there's our guacamole. Now we're gonna do a smiley face. I have a smiley face on this side of the block. So I'm gonna do a smiley face on one of these avocados. There's that. I am going to do a smiley face on this avocado right here. Like that. And we'll put the mustache on this guy here. Okay. Right there. Okay. And that is it for our stamping on this card. Oops, I lied. It's not it for our stamping, but I'll show you the inside. You can do that later. Okay, so there's that. Now, one last piece I forgot to bring out, but we did stamp it, was the little sombrero. Okay, so now let's assemble these pieces where they're going to go. So our bowl of guac is going to go. Okay, so now you guys are talking. Love the mustache face. Yes, that is cute. She silences her phone during these things. Yes, that's correct. Everything's on Do Not Disturb. Those faces are slaying me, as my teenager would say. I'm dead. Yes, so true. So true. Okay, there's that. Bowl is going right down there. And then this little avocado is going to sit. So I'm just going to put the dimensional right there. Okay, favorite taco place, folks. This one's going to cover up right there. So cute. You've been talking to you all along and you weren't seeing them. Yeah, it's really weird. I know some people, when they do lives, they have their computer, they have a separate thing going, but it's like, I haven't decided if I really want to have a separate device going alongside me to see the comments. But yeah, it's like they don't populate sometimes. Okay, let me show you where I've put these 2 dimensionals. I did a mini right there because that's going to help hold the sombrero, and there's the regular size. Someone must have the magic word. Yeah, to Facebook. I don't know. Okay, so this one's going to sit right there. And then the sombrero. Oh man, I lost my hat. Anybody see the sombrero? Okay, there's the chips. There it is. This one, and I'm going to do just a little dot of glue right there. Maybe a dot of glue. Right there. And we'll put that right on his head. I'm a little high on this one. I had my other card down a little further. That's okay. Okay, so we're almost ready here. I need one chip right there. So we had a couple handy. Last time I needed more sets of chips. If that makes, I cut this one off. Oh well, that's okay, it'll be fine. So this one I'm going to put on with just a little touch of glue right there. And then we will add that right there. So that way I didn't have to fussy cut. You can see I didn't have to fussy cut all the chips and arrange things and do things like crazy. So there is our focal point. And this is going to add to our green with dimensionals. But before we do that, we are going to use some of the green twine. So this we used in our studio ink spots for our camp, right? So I'm going to use the green, and I am going to put some green behind here, okay? And now I'm going to cut a piece that's going to be big enough to go all the way around and tie a bow. So cut yourself a nice chunk like that. How long would this be? Let's see. Let's measure this. Just give a quick measurement. My guess is I've cut about 20 inches here. Now I'm going to take both of these ends. Well, we're not. We're going to just kind of hold tight for just a second because we need it to be attached to our card. So your card base here is garden green, and it is 4 1/4 by 11. And I have scored it at 3 inches, and then again at 8 1/2. So you have a 2 1/2 inch flap, and you have a 3 inch flap. So this 3 inch flap we're going to work on first, okay? So this 3 inch flap, before we set everything together, we're going to kind of go to our pieces here of extras. And I'm going to use this piece right here. And I am going to glue this. First, I'm going to cut it to be 4 1/4 inches wide. So this little piece here, let's cut it to be 4 1/4 inches wide. This was one of the scraps from when we were, cutting our DSP for this card. So we had this scrap, these were scraps. So the back of the green floral print, I'm going to cut it to 4 1/4 inches, and we're going to glue that across the top of the 3 inch. Okay, this is the 3 inch section. So Nicole says the design does work really well with the Taco Fiesta set. Are you talking about the paper? Oh, the desert dies. Oh, yes. Even if you look at their samples in the catalog that are made, you can see they've used different pieces from the desert dies. So Jen says they've sold me on the desert dies. So, yep, I agree. And then Daisha says, so cute. Yeah, it is cute. Wow. Oh, wow. Is this fun? Cute. So I'm scrolling back because now they're populating. Facebook. I guess one day I'll have to try putting up my computer next to me so that I can actually see what's going on. Okay, so I'm gluing. We're going to have this pale side, which to me looks like raw tortillas. So this raw tortilla color, raw tortillas, this masa color. All right, it's going right there. Okay, before we do anything, this is gonna become a pocket. So you can bypass this step if you want, but go ahead and clip yourself a little bit of a circle. And I'm just doing a tiny bite out of the center. Am I centered? Oh, we'll eke over just a little. Okay, so a little bite, okay? Because we want pockets everywhere. You don't have to have it, but now when we go to glue this piece on, you know, these flowers do have a little bit of a direction. So you decide which way you want them to go, but kind of get your paper oriented to where you want it. And now open this and go, okay, so where am I putting glue? I am putting glue on this bottom edge and up the two sides. So don't go too far up the sides. You can always reach in and add a little bit more, but know where you're putting that glue. So you see it right there? That way, when you put this on, you'll be able to have a pocket. And just center this. Okay, so you're centering your designer series paper that we've already put together onto that 3-inch flap of the garden green. So look how fun that is to add this. So if this is gonna show, which this may not be the color palette on the front of the card, but it certainly works. It certainly has a, you know, a Taco Fiesta flavor to it. And so now this will be the inside. Okay, so now here's where we're gonna get a little tricky here. We are going to wrap. We're gonna come through, so we're gonna put the other end of our twine in here. Sneak it in there. Oh, I didn't do it well enough. I am gonna wet it just a little bit with my fingers and I'll spit. What's on the supply list? Spit. Okay, so we've got our ribbon running through like so. Now let's put dimensionals on it. That way our twine is going through. I called it ribbon, it's twine. But you have access. It's already in there, so we're not trying to do it. Whoops. I'm trying to put just the cover on the, where was that? Right here. Okay, we'll get that. We'll do a dimensional kind of there and there. We'll straddle the twine. There. And there. Yes, I could see a whole class on the Desert Details dies and the Taco Fiesta. That would be fun. Should we do it? We should have a virtual swap. All right, so now this piece can center on your card base, just like so. And we're gonna reach our twine around and let's go ahead and give it a pull. And yes, it's going right across that right there. We're gonna emphasize that in just a second. And now, if you want to try it, I did this. Let's see if I can do it in real life here on a live. I actually did reach, hold on. I reached through and brought this end through so that I could tie the bow right there. But I think for safety's sake and for today, I'm just gonna tie it off over here. And I'll show you what I mean close up in just a second here. So I did bring this end up through that hole, but I know I cannot do that on a live. It's just gonna take me forever. And then I might cuss. And so we don't want any bad language. We should definitely do it. I've added the dies to my ongoing wish list. Okay, I like the way Jen's thinking. So, let me just retie this bow. I'm gonna move my bow over on top of that knot. That's how we'll do it. We don't have to come through that hole. We'll just put the bow right on top of that hole. We'll put the knot of the bow right there. Now it looks like we came through, haha. Psych. So there's that. Yes, we should do like a everybody, you know, who wants to teach a card. We should do that. You set something up. Okay, I'm not gonna fiddle around with this bow too much here, but you know, you can get those twists to come out. Tell it who's boss. Okay, grab your ends and even them up, clean them up. Whoops, that's not the dinner bell, that's my light. Okay, now for the inside of this card, I do want to do just a little bit more decor here. And we'll emphasize this. So we're gonna bring in more of our green twine. Okay, we'll just cut a little piece of this, probably like 8 inches or so. And I'm gonna reach this inside here and I'm gonna put a bow on the inside too. And you don't even have to tie it in a knot, just make a bunny ear and pull around. Okay. There's that. Cinch that up tight, and then let me show you on my original what I put on the inside. I'll give you the idea, but we'll not go through and do all of the stamping and coloring because we're going to do that on the next card. So it gives you an idea. I will post photos of everything later today, but so here we have it, our holy guacamole, it's your birthday. And here's my original. Okay, I'm a little lower on this one, but I was like, I gotta get higher. Now I'm a little too high, but let me show you what's on the inside. Look at that. I've added that cute little piñata in the colors that I pulled from here. So I basically, the colors I already had out, I did grab a fresh freesia to kind of pull in that purple right there. So Jen says the dies aren't available until later this month. Yes, it says March 27th. But as I said earlier, Jolinda ordered them yesterday and it went through on the order. So crazy. Thank you, Karen. She says adorable. Yes, I really, it's a fun stamp set. Okay, so there's our first one and done. All right, our next card is going to be just as fun, just as spunky, just as spicy. I'm trying to find my supplies. Here they are. All right, here's the stack of what's in your kit. Designer Series Paperwise, we're gonna use this one. Doesn't it kind of look like ongoing taco shells? And we'll use this blue, red, and yellow one. Okay, that's gonna be our Designer Series paper. We're not gonna use this, that'll be on our last card. We might need some more white, so bring that out, have it set aside. We are going to use these 2 pieces of So Saffron. Okay, these 2 can go set aside. They're for our last card. So the first thing we're going to do is let's cut our Designer Series paper to size here. And we're going to cut, surprise, we're going to cut the blue pattern here. And you decide, I think it goes this way because this is kind of reaching up. Yeah, because this way kind of looks like they're falling down. Okay, you decide which way you want it to go. We are going to cut this to be 4 by 5 1/4. So real, you know, basic measurement there. So 5 1/4. It's already 4 inches. So let's make it 5 1/4. Now, keep this. We are going to use it right away coming up on this card here. And then this piece is going to be a fairly easy measurement. We're going to do a 1 inch. 1 inch by 3 1/2. 1 inch by 3 1/2. Okay, so that's garbage. This large piece here, you'll be able to make some other Taco Fiesta cards, so save that. And let's go back to this piece. So this was the bottom of our blue piece, and we'll go to here. This piece is 3/4 of an inch, right? It's 3/4 of an inch, but let's trim it down to be 3 1/4. Okay, 3 1/4. Okay, easy enough. This is trash. Okay, so Jacqueline just got here. Yep, Jacqueline, you missed our holy guacamole card. It's your birthday, so it's a cute card. It's fun. I'll show it at the end. All right, so these 2 pieces are going to layer like so. And so my sketch for this card is actually, you're getting a sneak peek of tomorrow's sketch challenge for TGIF. So I thought I'm gonna do a Taco Fiesta card for TGIF. So I'm borrowing their sketch layout. I'm inspired by their sketch layout, and I'm gonna make this card. Okay, so far so good, right? Easy, easy, easy. Okay, we have that. Now, this piece of So Saffron, I was gonna make it be an entire layer, but I've decided to use this piece a little bit different. So this piece is actually, I think it's 4 by 5 1/4. Yeah, it is. It's 4 by 5 1/4. Along the 5 1/4 inch long side, let's trim this down. You can make it be 2 1/2. I think I actually split it right in half at 2 5/8 inches. So 2 1/2, 2 5/8, it's all good. We're gonna use that. Okay, save that. You can use that on another Taco Fiesta card. And for the meantime, we are going to take this piece and we are going to stamp some tortilla chips on it. Haha. So this is the chips image. You could use the big chip too. I'm gonna use this one, but it needs a bath because it has shaded spruce. So now all of our images for this card, when I said shaded spruce, it made me think, all of our images, except for right here, we're gonna be stamping our images in this card in Night of Navy. Okay, but not right here. Right here, we're gonna use we're gonna use crushed curry. Look at my old crushed curry pad here. This is crushed curry. Okay, crushed curry. And let's just do some random stamping all over this piece. Okay, so you can kind of see. It's a little hard to see, but it's there. I think I may need to juice up my crushed curry pad, but I'm just gonna fill this piece with the tortilla chip image. Anybody know the history of tortilla chips? Where they originated? It's a test. Chips and salsa are one of my most favorite things. The minute I hear like any Spanish music, I'm like, oh, I need some chips and salsa. Okay, there's our chips in crushed curry on a panel of So Saffron. Okay, now we're gonna funky this up a little bit. You could use any embossing folder you want, but I thought, well, why not have, have you ever had like Chipotle, their chips have lime on them, lime and salt. So I'm glad Terry spoke up and she said, me too. So I'm gonna run this through the sweet citrus folder. All right, and I'm gonna put it up towards the top here, I think, so I get a little bit more action going on. So you could use any embossing folder. Time-worn type would be cool. There's the I don't know the name, so there's 3 new ones that you can get in the online exclusives only. There's a pack, it has hobnail and a floral and then kind of a crosshatch. I don't know the name of the crosshatch one, but that would be really cool on this one. So I'm gonna run this through my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. My sandwich is plate 1. Okay, so this is plate number 1. Then the 3D embossing folder, and I'm gonna go through with my folded edge in first. And then number 4. Now, if you don't have these particular plates, you're going to use from your big shot, you're gonna use your multi-purpose platform, opened all the way up, and then you'll use your blue plate if you have that old blue plate from a while back. The blue plate and the number 4 plate are the same piece. Okay, look how cool this is. So fun. So fun. And you know what? I did mine backwards, but that's okay. Because see, there it is, but my chips are on this side. But so yeah, I debossed mine. It's a little funky fun. Should have gone this way, wasn't paying attention. Commercial production of chips started in America. That's right, Jolinda, they did. They started in Los Angeles. And it was a woman didn't want to throw away all of her tortillas, so she broke them up and fried them. Jolinda has the bonus points for today. Okay, so real easy here. I'm going to add my layers. Let's just get our layers ready, and then we'll get to adding all the fun stamping. So this layer here is easy. Okay, just center this right on your So Saffron card base. I forgot to tell those of you cutting your own kit, this So Saffron card base is your typical, all right? So 4 1/4 or 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. All right, so that's our first layer on here. Then we're going to finish the detail on this layer here, and that is we are going to take dark crumb cake. And find my dark crumb cake, and we're going to splatter it. Okay, we're going to splatter it and kind of emphasize the tortilla chip. Okay, so now we've got some real chips. You guys, seriously, I now really want some chips. Oh, word association. Okay, this layer is going to glue. Can't believe I embossed it the wrong direction. Totally okay though, right? This one, following the sketch, is going to lay down here in the bottom right corner, just like that. Okay, and this one is going to come in right over here like that. We're not going to attach that just yet because I'm actually going to get a piece of twine ready to go. I'm going to use the green again, and I'm going to tie a bow, a fairly large bow. Google gets the bonus points, not me. Yes. Was she at like a taco place in Los Angeles? I think that's where she's from. Okay, I gotta get the kink out of the twine here. That's better. But give yourself a bow about yay size. Okay, you can kind of see. We'll give that a clip. Love these colors and 3 patterns together. You know, as I was looking at the papers, this one, this that we didn't use a whole lot of, this one I'm like, it just screamed tacos to me. So this is obviously going to be a taco card, right? So I have to tell you about these tacos at this Pantera market, not too far from me. They're called tacos, but they are treats. They're so yummy. They do a small tortilla, like a street tortilla, and they've dredged that in a beef consomme, and then they make it more like a quesadilla, and so it has melted cheeses, grilled onions, homemade chorizo, and guacamole, and then they put that on the fryer, on the flat top fryer, and get it crispy. Oh, goodness gracious, you guys, they call it Taco Pantera, and it's delicious. Is anybody else now super hungry? Okay, I'm gonna tape this. Now that you know where I might be headed later today, I'm going to situate this. I'm actually going to I have to do this from the front because I always do it backwards if I do it from the back. But I want this to kind of lay across the back of this piece like so. Okay, my original I used orange, but I don't have any orange twine left. I need to save what I have for another project. Okay, so I'm gonna open up my twine here, and I'm just using, you could use washi tape, you could use Scotch tape, whatever you have on hand, but I'm just gonna kind of hold that in place. Okay, and if you have to kind of monkey with it once we get it in place, we will. This is gonna go on with dimensionals, so I could actually even use some of my dimensionals to hold things in place. You are ruining my Weight Watchers diet. I'm sorry, Maggie. But you know, you could do some really cool tacos and flavors and still be in the Weight Watchers, Do vegetarian ones. This place called Madre here, they do an avocado taco that is pretty killer. And it's, like they've made pepper salsas and all kinds of yumminess that way. Get a lot of flavor and you still get crunch with some cabbage. A lot of people think they put lettuce on tacos. cabbage. Okay. There we go. All right, so we have set the stage for our taco card. This is going to be a card, you're not your average friend. That's what we're going to say on this one. So let's do some stamping. So take your white out and take your Night of Navy ink pad. So Night of Navy. Okay, gonna put my scissors away. It's kind of tidying up the ship just a little bit here so I can see what I'm doing. All right, so for those of you who missed the first card, these were the pieces. I had mine pre-fussy cut all out, so I kind of did some ahead of time, but this is what we stamped from our first card. So don't worry about those. We're going to stamp over here. We're going to stamp some images. We're gonna stamp a couple cactus. So we're stamping some cacti. So stamp 2 of these. And yes, we will be fussy cutting all of these images. So that's why it doesn't really matter how you put them on there. So we need that. And we're gonna need the big pepper. We haven't used the big pepper just yet. So big pepper coming in right here. That. And my favorite image in the whole thing is this taco image. Yes, that is my most favorite image here. So we're going to use the taco stamped in Night of Navy. Now, we're going to stamp the lime twice. So here's my lime image. I think I actually had, no, I didn't use it last time. So there's the lime once, twice. And we need the sombrero, but if you've stamped along with me, you need to give your sombrero a little bit of a bath because it has shaded spruce on it. So let's stamp the sombrero in Night of Navy. Okay. And on a separate piece of paper or down here, of course, you've already cut your die cuts out of that, but you have another piece of white. Let's take our Night of Navy, and I'm going to open up my ink pad here, and I'm going to get my aqua painter. Whoops, that one doesn't have much water in it. Let me get one with water. So here's my water painter, aqua painter. I'm going to kind of prime it, get it going. I use the back of my hand because, you know, I want to see if the water's coming out. There we go. Now it's getting juicy. And I'm going to do a little bit of watercolor, and I'm just going to do a little swoosh like that. It's a little darker than I wanted, but that's okay. We'll kind of come this way as well. And we'll let that dry, okay? Keep your Night of Navy pad nearby. We'll let that dry. While that's drying, let's go ahead and let's color these. So color-wise, we're gonna do similar things. So for the cactus, I'm gonna color these in Granny Apple. My cactus and my limes are gonna be in Granny Apple. So get your Granny Apple light and dark out. So with your light Granny Apple, just kind of give yourself, and I'm just kind of lightly coloring in my cactus here. Just kind of laying down a little bit of color with the brush tip. With the blunt tip of my dark Granny Apple, I'm gonna draw those cactus lines, right? Just like that. You bring that up a little closer. Now I'm gonna blend all those cactus lines with my light Granny Apple. So they're gonna be there, but they're not gonna be quite so in your face and obvious. We're gonna give this cactus a little bit of character, but I wanna blend those lines so, like I say, they're not too obvious. That's the best way I can describe it. Okay, so let me bring that up and you can kind of see those lines in there. Let's do it again. Okay, light. Oops, I went out of lines. That's okay, we're gonna fussy cut it out. You can cut that right off. My Granny Apple needs to be replaced. It's really not juicy enough. It's lost it needs more ink. Back to the dark. Okay, kind of bring some detail in there. And now use your granny apple, light, and blend those dark lines that you just made. Blend that. Okay, we are going to put faces on these, but I am going to wait until this ink is like completely dry. I do not want that ink to be wet at all because I don't want the faces to bleed. Now I'm going to do the limes, a couple limes, dark granny apple. I'm going to do the rind here on both of these. We'll just get these done right at the same time. And I'm going to do the segments here in dark. Don't worry if you don't get everything colored in, like I missed a spot right there and there. Now with the light granny apple, I'm going to just do a quick, and I'm not coloring totally over it to blend it, but I'm just kind of filling in the white of the rest of the fruit here. Okay, those are done. While I have this out, let's do, I know this looks like lettuce, but seriously guys, pickled cabbages, whether it's purple or green, I prefer that in a taco. Lettuce, nah, bleh. Okay, that was the granny apple. I'm not gonna worry so much about blending because that's such a small spot that it's just not really gonna show too much. Go back to your reds and we'll do some tomatoes here, which would actually be like pico de gallo. Okay. And while I have the red out, let's do this pepper. This is my light red, and I'm gonna fill the whole thing in, kind of like I did with the cactus. Kind of come in and around here up into these peppers, into the stem rather. Whoops, out of line. It's a good thing we're gonna cut it out. Now with the dark, I'm gonna kind of do a little bit of accenting on the sides. Okay, kind of trying to give it a little bit of a round feature, you know, kind of creating that shape by not adding too much in the center. We'll give that kind of a highlight, like the sun is touching, catching it there. And then as it's kind of curving around, that's where the shades would be, right? So blend that. For the stem, let's do crumb cake. Let's see if these are both crumb cake. If I grabbed the gray, oh, see that's granite. This is definitely crumb cake. That's granite. And there's crumb cake. All right, stem, crumb cake. And I'll add just a little swoosh of dark. Red or poppy parade for your peppers, Maggie? Is that what you're thinking? All right, I'm gonna color my sombrero again, kind of like I did last time, maybe a little different. But this one, I'm gonna put a little red up in here. And I'm gonna put green on the bottom. Last time I made it more straw on the bottom. I don't know, just changing it up. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, right? So leave your dark crumb cake out. These colors can go away. And let's grab our tortilla color, which we've been using So Saffron, light and dark. Okay, and let's give this taco shell a color here. So I'm just gonna cover the whole thing in light. If I miss in a few spots, it's totally okay. And then with the dark, I'm just gonna kind of come in and around dot, right? Those dots are kind of, you know, just adding in some variation of color here. And I used, because this is a larger area, I'm using the brush marker end. So there is that, okay? Now I'm gonna do just a rough chop of this out because I don't want to splatter my taco. Okay, well first off, these are from that's from our first card. We'll just get rid of those entirely. But give your taco a rough chop before you just fussy cut it. I mean, it's easier to fussy cut when you kind of, I call this a rough chop of getting it out of there, right? So we're gonna do the same thing we did to our piece that we embossed with the citrus folder. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna take my dark crumb cake and I'm gonna bring this tortilla to life. Okay, actually make it look like corn masa. There you go. Okay, I've done that to all of them that I've done. Look at all the splatters. So there's that. Little bit more color right there. Just a little saffron, light or dark. You don't have to do any blending. It's such a small area. It doesn't really show. But now that my cactus are good and dry, I'm gonna come back in with black. Yes, I want that black. It's not gonna be that much different than the navy, but at least I know the face isn't going to bleed. And one cactus is gonna have a mustache. Okay, oops. And the other one, he's got one eye bigger than the other. Okay, and then we'll do the smiley one there. Cute. Okay, so you would need to fussy cut these pieces out. I will just give them a rough chop. Of course, I already have all these pieces fussy cut out, or we would be here forever if I didn't. Okay, so let's set those there. Now, what are we doing with this piece here? Are you wondering? We're mixing things up just a little bit. Bring back your navy ink pad back into play here, and we are making blue corn tortilla chips. So, this has shaded spruce on it, so give it a quick bath and stamp this image a couple times. So you've got that. You can barely see it in the camera, but look at that, blue corn tortilla chips. And I did this with the watercolor because Night of Navy, I have those color blends. They'd have been just way too dark. So I'm kind of using this lighter area. So I have two batches of, two trios of that. So you'll need to fussy cut those as well. Blue corn tortilla chips. I was singing, have you ever heard the riptide for blue corn son? I don't even know those Disney songs, but I kept singing that line over and over. Someone needs to help me out with the actual lyrics. But yes, love the blue corn chips. Thank you, Jen. I love them too. Okay, so here's our card base. Let me show you where we're going with this card. Here's my original. So let's see, what do we need? We need, I've got this in the wrong, we need that circle that we cut at the very beginning. We'll stamp a greeting on that. Then we have our blue corn chips, our pepper, and some of our elements here. Oh, I haven't stamped my faces yet, so we'll stamp our faces on those. And one more line. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of tip those right off the edge. Let's stamp the greeting on here. So this greeting, we're going to use the greeting that says, you're not your average friend. Okay. So I'm just switching up my greeting. I'm taking Holy Guacamole off. Let's put that back in the case. And we will get, you're not your average friend. I have it right here. Just gonna mount that on my block. And we will stamp that in Night of Navy. Night of Navy, ink it up. And we'll put that right here towards the bottom. Whoops, I can see I needed just a little bit more ink on my nacho. Cute. Seriously, you guys, this set can't get any cuter. Unless it came with like scratching smell, you know? Some nice salsa spicy smells. Okay, I've pulled out my black so that I can stamp my faces, my cactus. Whoops, that's not the image I want. I want the smiley face. And that's just gonna go on this one. And then I'll put mustache. We have the senor here. Okay, awesome. All right, so let's assemble. This is pretty much going on with 100%, almost 100% dimensionals. I say that in the very first piece we're gonna put down, we're gonna glue. So I'm going to glue the circle. So this right here, the you know, the panel down here in the corner, the two pieces, and then the circle, this has all been inspired, or it follows tomorrow's TGIF sketch challenge. So that's where this came from. All right. So now I like to start with my anchor pieces, and my anchor piece, it's a toss-up between the taco and the red pepper here. So those are both going on with dimensionals. Jen says, I'd like to know how many of us watching this will eat something taco, avocado, tortilla chip related today. Oh, I think I will. I seriously, I think I'm going to head over. Newell's out of town. Newell and Nicholas went to a vintage Jeep show down in the St. George area. So they left yesterday. So I'm home alone. There's my taco. So yeah, I could head anywhere I want. That place is pretty good. In fact, that's the place where I bought the candies for the Studio Ink spots, the little packages that I gave you guys. I think I'm gonna set this kind of like that, okay? They're kind of interlocking. Now, my cactus, they're kind of a partial. So I'm gonna put a dimensional right there and a little bit of glue on this guy. And he's gonna be on, he's gonna glue to that layer, but dimensional to the card. Same thing with this one. So a dimensional and a little bit of glue on the bottom. That way it can kind of just stick to that circle. Like so. Oops. Oh, I did take the dimensional cover off. The sombrero, you can kind of see where that's going. That goes on him, right there. And I'll do the same thing I did on the other one, and that is to put a dimensional like right there. Okay, and then we'll just put that on him there. Oops. All right, those in San Jose, you know, Jolinda knows what the taco truck I like. I do like the crispy chicken tacos from Mexico Lindo over on Foxworthy and Cherry. Let's see. It just depends. Adelita's has a great super taco. It just depends on what you're looking for. Mi Ranchito is, that's where I'd like to go for a carne asada burrito. You know, depending on what I'm going to order, I go to different places. Karen's going to have a little bit of a Latin flavors today. Okay, so my blue corn chips right there. And we'll put a lime there by it. The only thing missing in this set is a radish. Gotta have radishes, right? The radish is to cool the palate. Okay, for this, I'm actually going to split. So we have a chip. So we're going to have a single chip there and the little duo of chips over here. Duo of chips. Oh my goodness. That sounds good. Duo of chips. Okay, I just put one dimensional, that'll hold it right there. Okay, and these, so what I did here is kind of like I did a mini and I put it right there. That way I knew it wouldn't kind of be lopsided. But there's my lime. Get out of there. And I'm going to just glue this chip on, but I need to do just a little, where I separated, I needed a little tidy up. Had some rough edges there. A little bit of glue on this. And we have the blue corn chip card. Hold on, I got too much glue. So out of my garbage pail, I'm just gonna scrape a lot of that glue off. Just like that, okay. And there you have it. You're not your average friend. Oh, we're not quite done. And I'm not adding, I did add Wink, but Wink of Stella was making some things bleed. So I'm gonna hold off on Wink, but I am going to add some of the Milky Dots. So we use these Milky Dots in Studio Ink Spots in our Regency Park Stamp Camp, which we also used the twine in that camp as well. So we're just kind of, you know, using some things up. I'm gonna add a Milky Dot there. And we'll tuck one right in here. And another one right up in here. Just to give it a little bit of bling on the front. Okay, really bring it home. All right. So Jen says, our options in Canada are not as plentiful when it comes to Mexican Southwest food. Unfortunately, I always look forward to my trips to California for this reason, especially fresh avocados. Ooh, bummer. So you don't have fresh avocados where you are? That is a huge bummer. So we have them here in Idaho. What I find interesting is Idaho is the gem state, but they're known for potatoes, but the potatoes here are very weird. California has better potatoes. Okay, yes, I have found some great places here though, for different tacos. There's a really good birria taco place, and so Jolinda, what do you get from that taco truck? I don't remember what I liked. Probably, you know, I always start a taco truck off with their tacos, their street tacos. So there's a place here that was doing Wagyu beef tacos that were to die for. Oh my goodness, such big tender chunks of beef. Oh, so good. But they're not serving that anymore. Bums me out. Okay, there you have it. There's our second Taco Fiesta card. You get avocados, but they've been on a truck for weeks. Oh, that's not good. Holy guacamole, that sucks. All right, our last card. Let's see the pieces we are going to need for this. We have several pieces here that we'll be using. So our card base is Poppy Parade, and it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, easy. This piece here is it's actually thick basic white, and the size on this is 8.5 by 3 5/8, so something like that. So anyways, and it's folded in half. So cut yourself a chunk of white that you can put inside the card. So what I'm saying is this is gonna go inside like so. So that's how we're gonna build our card. We're also going to use this rickrack piece. This was cut from Orchid Oasis using one of the borders from the Basic Borders dies, okay? That's another, this one right here is great for this set of papers and stamp set. Paper-wise, we're gonna use that one for sure, and the stripe. So you have this one left over that you could really do something fun. Look at this combination right here that you could do. This could be a fun, another flavored taco card in a different, completely different kind of color palette. Pull in a little blackberry and freesia. That'd be fun. Okay, so these are what we're gonna use here. So let's kind of cut our pieces that we need. I also forgot this one, so I showed you this one. This is from the Delicate Desert. Sorry, I said it wrong. Desert Details Dies, from the Delicate Desert Suite. Okay, so you have this piece here, and you might have a few little hanging on pieces there. So if you want to punch out all those little circles, you can, but look how cool this die is. Now we're gonna see these dies with its Sweet Collection in 2 weeks. And we'll be stamping with that set and be combining things with the dry brushed paper and everything. So you'll see this a lot more. You just flick all those out of the way. Okay, so now that we have what we need, size-wise, what are we cutting here? So on this piece of white that you have in your kit, you are going to cut 1 inch off of the front, okay? So this is going to set inside the card, right like that. And we're gonna take 1 inch off this left side. So let's cut 1 inch off of that. So we'll move that into our trimmer. I need to clean my trimmer. It has glue all over it. So there's 1 inch off that. Okay, and while we're looking at things, okay, while we're looking at this piece here, what I'm gonna do is I'm kind of holding it up and I am going to put, so I'm gonna trim a little off there. So right there, I'm gonna cut. So we're not gonna need this whole piece. So I'm just kind of holding my finger there and I'm gonna just chop that right in the valley of that. And then we'll do the same thing on this one here. I'm just gonna go right to that valley, okay? Now this is a scrap. It doesn't matter how much is in here. We're gonna sandwich this in here between this and some designer series paper, okay? So we're just kind of prepping our pieces. Speaking of prepping our pieces, this piece here, what we're going to do is we're actually going to flip it over and we're gonna trim this piece, and this piece is going to be 3 3/4 by 4. So it's already 4 inches across, okay? So it's 4 inches. Now I'm gonna turn it and I'm gonna cut it at 3 1/4. Hope that's right. Yep, that's right. I had to make sure. Okay, save this. You could use this on another project. So this piece here, just had to be sure what I was doing. So this is where this is gonna work. We're going to layer this piece behind the side that we trimmed, but before we layer this, we're going to sandwich this right inside. That way, the back side, we see this fun stripe, we don't see the mechanics of our Orchid Oasis rickrack. So speaking of that, let's just glue this inside right now. I'm just kind of spreading my glue out a little bit here. And this is going right in here. I agree, Kathleen. The colors and the stripes are really fun. Okay, hold on, let's get this in here just right. I wiped too much of my glue off that I couldn't kind of move things around while it was still a little wet. Okay, there we have it. So we're sandwiching that piece inside. And so yes, this plays off really well together, but don't worry, we're gonna see it. We're going to do a little bit of this mustardy, we'll call it tortilla color, coming through, okay? So this is going to glue on the back of this. So I'm gonna put my adhesive on this piece here. I need to clear off the tip of my glue so it's not coming out so funky. See all that? Let me just take my paper, give it a wipe off. Okay, so evenly, I'm just kind of shutting it, and I'm gonna have it on both sides there, so even on each end, okay? And it looks like I may need to cut a little off. How am I gonna get there? I'm in a quandary. It won't fold. I have it too thick. I need it to trim a little bit off. Oh well. I have just a little bit peeking through. That's okay. And now I'm not centered. I am in crisis mode here. Hold on, folks. You know, do you ever have moments where you're like, okay, my glue isn't, things aren't positioned just right. This is where you have to tell it who's boss. Okay. There you have it. We'll open that up, give that a rub. So you have to do it kind of in the shut position so that it will it will work in there. So I'm a little bit longer than I want to be, but that's okay. It's beautiful. Okay, this piece is ready. This piece is not. This piece is 4 by 6. We're gonna trim it down to, guess what? 4 by 5 1/4. Surprise. Just kind of a nice standard layered size. Okay. And this is gonna layer there on the front of our poppy parade. Look how fun this paper is. Well, okay, and so see, while we're looking at that, this little scrap, don't put it in the garbage, because like if you were to do the card we did just a minute ago, this could be one of those layers, right? Could get a little peek of that coming through, so save that. That's a good color combo right there. Yeah, for those of you with a Taco Fiesta kit, we should have a spot where we post our leftover cards using the scraps. Okay, easy, basic. Just layered that right on the front half of my card. Now for the inside, I am gonna take my circle punch, and right in the center here, I'm gonna take a bite out. We'll make this be a pocket. Why? Because we can. Yes, Frida Kahlo, definitely. I agree. I have some coin purses that have her on them, you know, as kind of a graphic on them. I have several different things. So this, I'm going to put glue on the sides and the bottom. And this is going to set on the inside. Now, put your paper in there. Put it as centered as you can, just eyeball center. But make sure your card will shut. So you might end up, you know, shimmying it out. See how I'm not directly on that score line? So this score line for the white is actually falling to the outside of my poppy parade. And that will allow me to have no buckle in the card there. Okay? No buckle, but I have adhesive right there. Okay, so can't have adhesive because then it's going to stick on things. So that's why I always have an adhesive remover handy, for just that kind of reason. Okay, so here is, I forgot to do the main part of the card. Okay, well, you're going to get a card with ribbon and a card without, because I was supposed to sandwich the ribbon in here and in between here, and I forgot. You guys, I always forget the ribbon. I'll show you one with and one without. Okay, so now for this, I'm going to open this side up. Can't believe I forgot the ribbon. What else is new? What else is new? I'm going to take my crushed curry. And no, I'm actually going to use granny apple. I used granny apple. It looks a little bit like crushed curry because I'm going to splatter it. So it's granny apple and a granny apple brush, or a lighter green blending brush. Load your blending brush up. Knock off most of that color. And let's just give a nice coverage on the whole piece here. And kind of switch up your directions. Maybe even turn your paper so that you get a more even coverage. There's that. So that's all the green I'm going to do. We'll put that away. And I'm going to bring out my, my crumb cake, dark. And we're going to give this the whole tortilla feel again. But I have ink, glue here. So you have to let glue dry before you come in with your adhesive remover. And I'm rubbing my adhesive remover to get it off of my own skin. Okay, getting the glue off. Getting it off there. Right there. And you, like I say, wait until it's dry. If you do it when it's wet, you will rip your paper. So wait until it's dry. But now that I've got that glue off, everything looks much better. I can breathe a sigh of relief, except for that I'm missing the ribbon yet again. Okay. Okay, take your crumb cake and give the whole front there a nice splatter. Okay. There you have it. So now we're kind of set up for creating our focal points. So let's do a little bit of stamping here and a little bit of stamping. Grab a piece of your white from your kit. And this time, all of our images, we're going to stamp all of our images this time in Starry Sky. Now you could stamp them in navy, but I just lightened things up a little bit and I liked the brightness of this Starry Sky. So we're going to be stamping in Starry Sky. And I'm going to take my greeting off my block here because we don't need that one. What I'm looking for is long time no taco. That's going to be our first greeting. So we have long time no taco. I'm just kind of setting that on as straight as I can. We'll ink this up in Starry Sky. Tap, tap, tap. And it's going to stamp across, and yes, this is the bottom. It's going to stamp across the bottom of our white section. Long time no taco. Awesome. Cute. Now we have a whole bunch of images we're going to stamp on the white. So I'll set that aside. So on our white, we're going to stamp the coolest piece ever. Look at this. This is Starry Sky, and this is the piñata. And you had to cover the adhesive, Kathleen. Yes. So we used to sell an adhesive remover, but I'll bet you can find them online. You know, just type in adhesive remover like on Amazon, or if you want one like right now, if you went to University Art over on Meridian and Ray Street, I'm sure they have adhesive removers there, if they're still open. I don't know, I haven't lived there in a while. Okay, so there's the piñata. We're gonna do the burrito. I definitely prefer taco to a burrito any day. Okay, there's a burrito. And we need a taco. I'm gonna give it a clean because it was Night of Navy, so switch it up. So here's the Starry Sky taco. And we're gonna need 3 peppers. This sounds like a recipe, right? 3 peppers. There's a 1, and 2, and 3. Okay, we have a couple more images that we need. Oops, we're gonna need a 4th pepper. So we'll just kind of right there. And we need a piñata. 1 more piñata. The other day, Walmart, of all places, had a taco piñata. I think I might go back and get it for my dad's birthday. Okay, these images all need to be colored. And for time's sake, you've seen me color red peppers before and what I've done. So we're gonna do 3 red, and I'm just gonna do some quick, I'm just gonna go like this so that you guys know what to do. Just for time's sake, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3 red, and 1 green. And I'm gonna color these the exact same way I colored all of the other peppers that we've been doing. The taco, it's gonna be colored the exact same way. So I'm gonna use the So Saffron Light and Dark, okay? And then I'm gonna splatter it with the dark crumb cake. And again, I'm gonna go in and kind of color a little bit of lettuce and tomato, that sort of thing. Burrito, okay. So here's what we're gonna do for the burrito. We're gonna rough cut him out because his tortilla is already white, but it's looking pretty raw. So let's do this. Let's color. So this is dark granny apple. I want light granny apple first. And they made these look like lettuce. I'd really rather it be carnitas or carne asada. Okay. All right, now with the dark, I'm just gonna kind of come in at the bottoms of each of these pieces, and then I'll blend that back with my light. Now, the reason I cut it out is because I don't want to splatter these images. Well, I would want to splatter the taco. Okay, so we'll just do that. We'll cut the taco out. Rough chop. Now, these pieces are going to get splattered again with dark crumb cake. Okay. So Jolinda says University Art closed in April of 2018. That's long before COVID. Really? I don't remember that closing. Okay, so I'm splattering my tortilla here. So now this, if I were to cut this out, you can see how it's a nice effect. You're not gonna color, and I won't cut the whole thing out. I'll just basically cut out the tortilla so you can really kind of see. Okay, so now it looks like a flour tortilla with that little bit of splatter. Okay, Kathleen. Sometimes the Dollar Tree, I've picked up adhesive removers at the Dollar Tree and Michael's too. So go ahead and make sure you splatter, and obviously you're gonna color everything in, but for time's sake, we're gonna kind of fast forward. So that's how I did my burrito. Now I do want to color the piñatas because I haven't colored any piñatas. So I am gonna use Granny Apple. I am going to use polished pink, dark polished pink, and I'm going to use daffodil. So these are going to be the colors for my piñata. And I'm going to just do one piñata. And I have a little bit of Granny Apple right in his tail, just a little bit right there. And I'm going to do a little bit of Granny Apple in this little saddle. This is dark Granny Apple, isn't it? Feels dark. Yep, let me grab a light. The problem is I put the dark cap. You gotta watch those. I'm gonna use light here. We'll blend that. Just a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Just right in that little section there. And in his tail and this top section right there. Now to give this just a little bit more interest, I've kind of done a little bit of a dot like that. And then I'll blend those dots. And it's not gonna look like dots, it's just gonna be kind of some highs and lows in your greens there. Okay, there's that. Now, my favorite part, I like to do his nose and ears, or her. Whoops, I want the bullet tip. This is polished pink light. Do a little bit on the nose here and the ears. And I'm also going to do this center section of this little serape on its back. There's that. And this is the outside of the tail. Trying to stick right in those lines, a little tricky. With the yellow, we'll get the center of the tail and this center section right there. And now I'm just going to carefully just dot right here in this little collar, and then the little bangles here will be yellow as well. And I colored both piñatas the same. And I'll pull that up so you can see a close-up. So I didn't buy enough erasers. I needed to support them more. Yeah, exactly. So, okay. All right. So that's how you would color those, and you would fussy cut all of those pieces out. And I have that done for time's sake. So let's see what I have here. Here's my piñatas, my taco, my burrito, my 3 peppers, and the green pepper. Okay, so look how cool these turned out. So you guys, you got to splatter with crumb cake. Whether you have a blend or you use your crumb cake ink pad and a water painter and flick that way, that just makes all the difference in this set. Okay, moving right along, let's assemble these pieces. So we do need also this last stylish shapes tag that we did. And on this, we're going to use one of the greetings. We're going to use the You Spice Up My Life. So let me take this one off the block. Give it a quick clean. So You Spice Up My Life. Every time I look at this one, I sing You Light Up My Life, but you spice up my life. Okay, so You Spice Up My Life, and we'll stamp that. Okay, let me just use this as kind of a contrasting color here so I can see what I'm doing, so it's easier for you to see. This will be in Starry Sky, just like the front. Okay, and we will just stamp that straight down, straight up, right in the middle, or close to it. There's You Spice Up My Life. That is it for our stamping. And now let's assemble everything. So on the front of our card, we are going to add all of the elements with dimensionals. So let's just put dimensionals on everything right now. That way we'll be set and ready to go to just assemble. So I'm going to flip them all over, including the greeting, all of these. Dimensionals, I'm going to bring in my bigs for the most part. Hey, join the crowd. Okay, so a dimensional, I'm just doing 1 on the peppers. Taco's getting 2 just so it doesn't teeter. The piñata, I'm going to do 1, and I'm going to do a mini on the tail. And let me just bring this up real fast and show you how I've cut. I actually didn't cut all those little, I didn't cut that apart, all those hairs. I just did 1 cut right up here by his bum. Okay, so a mini on this little, that just barely fits right there, but that'll hold that in place and keep it from teetering. Okay, greeting, we'll put a couple. This burrito, you're gonna get a couple. See, dimensionals, I really need to put stock in dimensionals because I go through them big time. All right, now everything's prepped and we can get things going. So in your Taco Fiesta kit, you have either a red or a green one. My original has red, this one is green, and I'm gonna do just 1 right there. Now we are totally set to put this all together. I'm going to start with the piñata. So 1 piñata is going to go inside this next layer. This piñata is going to go here. And I'm going to put that, just glue that, or pull those dimensional covers right off and set that in its spot. It's just going to go right there like that. Just like that. Now I'm going to do 1 red pepper. So all the red peppers are going to go on the front. This green one's going to go on the inside. And this red pepper is just going to kind of overlap on top of him just a little bit and sit right there. Next will be the burrito. So we're just kind of creating just kind of a mural effect here. Right there. Cute little mural. I'd put this up on my kitchen wall if it were bigger. This pepper is going to go upside down, right there. Next up, taco. And it will set right in here like so. Let me move it out just a little bit. And it's tucked under just a little bit. And the last red pepper is going to go on the front here. And it's going to go face up, but it's kind of going to be coming from underneath the burrito and the taco. Okay, there's that. Now for the finishing the front, let's use more of our milky dots that we have left over. We're using them up. We're going to do the blue on this. And so I'm going to do a small blue right there. And I'm going to do a big blue kind of right in this little nook and cranny right there. And I'm going to do 1 more big right down here. So that's it for the milky dots on the front. Now, when we open this up, we're going to do some decor right here. So some fun. We're gonna start with our desert details cut here, but you need to know where to put it. So kind of shut your card a little bit and eke this in so that it's peeking through right there. Okay? Yes, Jolinda, that's right. The high rents and everything, it becomes ridiculous. You know, online ordering has put businesses, so many businesses out of work here. Okay, this one, I'm gonna tuck it underneath, just like so. So you guys, you know I like to do this, like have a flap and then have, oh, you open it up and you get another. So this is second card right here, second card front, I like to say. And then we're gonna put the piñata and the pepper in here with this, okay. Peeling off my backs. This is going to just kind of nestle right there. And then I'm going to bridge these together with the pepper. And it's going to just kind of sit right in there like so. Cute. So there's our little decor on the inside. And then this inside here, let's do just a little bit more stamping, not much. But we're gonna stamp You're Not Your Average Friend, going back to the stamp we used at the very beginning here. So I'll put this on my block. Okay, I'm gonna peel this one off so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna stamp with Starry Sky again. So we'll just do a simple inside here with Not Your Friend. Right there, You're Not Your Average Friend. Oh, I missed. Well, I'm not gonna risk it. I'm just gonna leave it be. If I have to, I can maybe go in and clean the stamp and just ink up that little bit and try and over stamp that. And if I miss, then I'll have to put something on top. But for right now, I'm not gonna worry about it. But I am gonna put a few little peppers in here. And I'm gonna use the little pepper and I'm gonna clean it because I don't remember what color it was. And we're gonna stamp them in Granny Apple. And we'll just do a few, just kind of nestling right around here. So we have just one, and we'll do two, and just a third right here by it, okay? Keeping it easy. And then you could go in and color those with your Granny Apple blend, the light Granny Apple blend. And you can see this just kind of comes together quick. And I won't do all three because you guys get the hint. I will show you on my original here. So I did a little Granny Apple there and just a teeny little bit of crumb cake right in that stem. Okay, and while I have the crumb cake out, I'll do these little spots. And I did a little bit of light polished pink. So my light polished pink blend, and I did just a little bit of a splatter. So super simple. So don't forget, color those in. But here the card goes. Long time no taco. You spice up my life. You're not your average friend. So kind of fun. Let me show you how it's supposed to be with the ribbon. So I should have sandwiched my ribbon inside these two layers and inside there. Let me show you this one here. This one here. And we were going to use our Night of Navy bordered ribbon from camp. And then this opens up, and it opens up just like the one we made here. Ooh, I have a few more milky dots there. So let's do 2 more milky dots on the inside. Forgot about those. So I'll do a small and a large. And so it's like I have one, well, I had more space in this one. So maybe I'll tuck this one here, and I'll do one above it over here. Just slightly different, okay? But cute. Cute, cute, cute. And I did actually put Wink of Stella on this one. So the images are all painted with Wink. You can kind of see that in there. But there you have the inside. I didn't make this one a pocket. And I thought, what am I doing? It was supposed to be a pocket. But you can see how I used the blend to color in the peppers and finish that up. So there you have it. We have not your average kind of cards here. These are spicy and fun. So we have our red and pink and green. We have our blues and yellows. with the cactus, and then we have our holy guacamole. And there we have it, our Taco Fiesta cards. Let's seriously figure out how we can do more Taco Fiesta and share. You know, maybe we'll do a Facebook group chat, live group chat room, and we each kind of do something. Or we could do it on Zoom too. So give me your input if you'd like to do something like that. I think it would be fun. Maggie has to go to work, but we'll stop at the taco truck. Nice. Nice. All right. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Glad all of you who stopped by today. I certainly appreciate it. And I will get these photoed and I'll put them up for you to see so that you can see where I've placed things. And we will stamp again next Thursday at 10 o'clock. See you soon. Bye-bye. I'm just reading the comments here. Terry says she's off to get chips and salsa. Jen says, can't wait for the dies. Yes, soon, I know. Oh, thanks, Kim. Nancy, thank you. Thank you, folks. I will catch you next time. Bye-bye.